Well, they say it's best not to go grocery shopping when you're hungry because you never know what will end up in your cart. We've all been there. You may come home with a lot more than you set out to buy.
Have you ever gone to the grocery with the intention to buy healthy food? Even trying to read labels can be overwhelming if you don't know where to start.
Yeah, we have a nutritionist after the break that's going to break down some shopping tips for those health-conscious cooks out there. Some things you may even not know, so stick around. Have you ever tried to go to the grocery store and buy healthy food, but you really don't know where to start? Well, here to help us is Dr. Felicia Stoller, a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and health author. And thank you so much for coming, Felicia.
My pleasure.
Your book, right there we see Living Skinny in Fat Genes, talks all about trying your best to eat healthy when you're surrounded by a world where there's just all these unhealthy choices everywhere, it seems.
Right, and if you go to a supermarket, right, it is super large with lots of choices all over the place.
Sometimes too many choices.
That's right, that's right.
All right, so there's some hidden things that you need to look for when you're shopping. You may think you're buying something healthy.
Right.
It actually is not. And we've all heard about those partially hydrogenated oils, which you can find even in like cereals these days, right?
Right. There's hydrogenated oils in a lot of foods. And, you know, what's important is looking at trans fats. So, for example, there was a recent ruling where the food manufacturers have until 2018 to get the trans fats out of food. The loophole is that foods that have at least 0.5 grams of trans fat can still be labeled as 0 grams of trans fat. And the problem with that is that it impacts our heart health and causes an increase in cholesterol and increases the risk for heart disease, which is still the #1 killer in this country.
Sure, so even those small amounts, they add up over time.
They do add up.
So what do you look for on the labels to make sure that you're not buying something with trans fats in it?
Well, you look to read the label and actually see what's on there. I mean, for example, if you look at this margarine, if you and I were to turn this around, you can see there is trans fat
labeled on there.
Right, so, you know, you can get something like a butter. Something I want to talk about that's been a replacement for trans fats in a lot of foods is something called palm oil. So people often don't know what that is. They think about palm kernel oil. Actually, it's palm fruit oil. And specifically, what I wanted to just sort of highlight it is it's already found in other foods that are out there. So, for example, the Smart Balance line has it. The Nutella has it. Why do we want palm oil? Well, specifically, it's loaded with something called tocotrienols, which is very potent vitamin E. And then we're looking for sustainability issues, too. So 90% of the palm oil in the U.S. comes from Malaysia, and it is grown sustainably. And what's really nice about Malaysian sustainable palm oil is that it helps to lower cholesterol. It's good. It's neuroprotective. It's good for brain health and for heart health. So we want to try to change it up in terms of different types of oils that we're using. So we know that olive oil is good, but we can't use it with everything. It doesn't have a high smoke point. You can't use it for flavor purposes in other foods. So looking for other oils that are out there, and things like coconut oil too, people are using.
I've been
learning a lot more about tropical oils.
Okay, very good.